to have the key cards, the key card system that we have currently for a number of our facilities to be added to the restrooms for the showboat. And what it will allow for is, it'll allow us, correct me if I'm wrong, but it'll allow us to control the times the showboat's open and not with the control system.
Even though the showboat may not be open for the public, it will still be open for the general public to use that restroom
Yes.
outside that time. So Mike will set up a time frame of like 9 a.m. until 10 o'clock at night. So the bathroom will automatically unlock.
Is it the
during
same
that time.
setup that we have?
It's the same
at
thing.
Same
No,
thing.
Creekside and-
No, those are a little bit different because they don't have internet out there. Those are done on a 7-day timer.
Yeah.
And so you have to go out and periodically change the time set as daylight saving. This Mike will be able to do right from his laptop
Oh,
and
good.
make those changes, so there's that on there. We are also going to be putting a card/pin on the front, so if there is an incident and the police officer has to respond to maybe some vandalism, he or she can just get in with a code or a card to have access to get into that too. That'll be on the front door. We're adding that as well too. And if the city wants to do something later as far as another card reader on the sign thing, it's there. There's very little investment the city has to make. One thing in my talking with Betsy Davis about this is there's no city internet over there. So we are going to send that wireless back to City Hall so that we don't have to do fiber, we don't have to do all this stuff. So we're saving the city several $1,000s by doing the point-to-point access versus trying to get fiber and a network switch and everything else over there. So that's my proposal, but
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, so the total cost for this is $5,577.10. My spending authority is $5,000, so I can't approve this administratively. So I'm asking the council to approve this expenditure. The breakdown of the funding will be, we'll use the same cost allocations we used to build the bathroom. So 39.7% will come from showboat fund, 29.8% will come from the DDA fund, 30.5% of this bill will come from the American Recovery Plan funds we received. So we'll just use the same allocation that we did for the bathroom.
Nah, I could be wrong with that. Showboat portion seems a little high to me.
That was the
Because-
percent, yeah, that was the agreed upon percentages when we approved it.
And there are gonna be city bathrooms for
Right.
social district people and Riverwalk people.
Yeah. When we
The showboat.
this is based on the percentage of when we built the full showboat, how much each entity was going to allocate towards it, and they did kick in about, I believe they were $100,000 roughly for the showboat. I believe the DDA covers $76,000 and the American Recovery Plan covers
Talking about for
$70,000.
the bathrooms.
Yeah, but I'm just using the same funding allocation.
What about maintenance? What's the funding? This is unrelated to this, obviously, but maintenance and cleaning and upkeep of the bathrooms.
DPW will be handling that.
All right, any other questions for Jim or
Not on this.
motion to approve Allied Universal's quote for $5,577.10?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Sue?
Mayor DeVore,
Yes.
Councilmember Salzweedl,
I'm going to abstain.
Councilmember Yankovic,
Yes.
Councilmember Chambers,
Yes.
and Councilmember Groves.
Yes.
Okay, I got a question for Mike real quick.
Okay.
While we're talking about the showboat, we're talking about all this and the building and da-da-da. By my understanding, the roof, we had to have the roof repaired.
Correct.
I wonder why we are taking money from the showboat when we, the city, own it, and as landlords, technically, that's our responsibility.
Well, I included it as contingency to the project, so that's how I did it.
Okay.
Because we built in contingency to the project, we used up the whole contingency, so I just did that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't coming out of their general working fund.
No, it was already approved funds, because I had built in the 10% contingency. And this was the whole contingency was covered.
Oh yeah, it
So,
doesn't
yeah.
take long to,
No.
No.
but But the contractor that did it, I gotta admit, they did an awesome job. They actually stood on the third floor of the showboat and looked at the rope while they were doing it to make sure that thing was perfect. That is the prettiest rope, and as a contractor, I've never seen one done as good, so they did an awesome job. That's it.
All right. Board commission reports, Cliff.
We got nothing.
Jim?
Well, the LCTV board met. It was a good meeting. We have slightly around $106,000 that will be able to proceed to give away this year. The deadline to get your request in is February 4th of 2022. We'll be having a meeting on February 16th, I believe, of 2022 to discuss how we're going to distribute those funds. We'd like to maybe look at having our recommendations back to you as early as February 21st or possibly March 7th.
So I had a citizen ask, business owner, what are the qualifications or what does what is the scope they need to be in to qualify for asking for a LCTV fund?
Susie, I know you have that somewhere, don't we, Dennis? What can qualify for
It's
a
supposed to be,
solicitation of the funds?
yeah, it's supposed to be, charitable, not-for-profit as opposed to an individual business.
Okay.
That should be in the bylaws.
City website?
I don't remember. if
I
it's on
couldn't
the
find
city
it anywhere when I was asked, so
You have to go back to 2000.
website. Yeah, I don't. I
Isn't it in the
didn't.
application
Well, that's fine. Just-
on
I
the
mean,
JR Foundation?
if it's a nonprofit, it's a nonprofit, I can pass that information along then. But they were
It's in the
curious.
it's in the application, but it's in your ordinance somewhere else.
Okay,
You may take this from me. This is some of the applications that they have to fill out.
okay, thank you.
Yep. So, that's all I have, and I do have a meeting this Thursday at Lone Light Power out at the new Energy Center, 7 o'clock, or 6 o'clock, 6 to 9, as I've been told. That's when I'm leaving, So, good luck, but yeah, I'm looking forward to going out and seeing the new Energy Center now that it's fully operational.
Very cool.
Yep, so cool, that's it.
Mark?
Fine, I'll come next week.
Lynn?
I've got nothing either.
And in the fire authority on Thursday, we're gonna start talking about the 2022 budget already. It's crazy to me that we're talking about February of 2022 coming up. Mike, city manager report.
Yeah, a couple of items. The parade on Saturday night I thought went real well. I think that was the most I've seen in a crowd since I've been here for a parade. I want to thank Chief Hurst, he did an excellent job planning the security for the event. I also want to thank Lowell Area Fire Department, Lowell Light Power, Lowell DPW, everyone helped. We did some things a little bit different due to the events in Waukesha, Wisconsin. We did have all the access points covered to Main Street by a vehicle, so hopefully to prevent something tragic happening. Thought it was a good event, so thank you to all of them. Obviously, with the events that occurred over in Oxford Township last week, police chief, fire chief, and I, we've just been having some conversations about the event and some what ifs that happened here. I know this is something that they think about all the time, but this is kind of close to home, and I got to admit, having lived most of my life on that side of the state, Oxford is, if you look at the similarities to Lowell, they're almost identical, and it was real eye-opener, so I just want to speak about that briefly. Also, working a couple other things. Electric vehicle charging stations. The Thursday, the Downtown Development Authority is going to be meeting. We are discussing the current electric charging stations need to be upgraded. The technology is becoming obsolete, and quite honestly, is something that probably needs to come off of Lowell Light Power's book, so to speak. And so I'm going to be proposing the DPW or the DDA to be taking those over. The new charging stations that would be proposed, if we do this, they could charge, each charging station, we have 2 charging stations now. We have one over in the Broadway lot, and we have one over by Cliffs. And the new charging stations will be able to charge up to 2 cars at once, rather than 1 car at once. We are also looking at possibly putting an additional charging station over on the north end of the library property, next to the Oklahoma property, and give us a couple of different options. We are looking at possibly charging for this. I'm still putting information together on this, but we plan on talking about it with the DDA on Thursday. As we discussed, the restrooms are open. They're really nice. Check them out. The bridge boxes, we are going to be coming to the council probably in January to request using some of the funds we received from the Donna Jean Ford Fund to put bridge boxes with flowers along the bridge. If you recall the trip we made to Fenton a few years ago, we did that in our former community, and they look very sharp. And we're going to be discussing that with you in a couple of weeks. The Ware Road property, I did receive the report on Friday. I started reading it today. It's 170 pages. I'm supposed to meet with BLDI probably later this week, early next week. I hope to have them come and give you an update to this at the next council meeting. Line check, the first draft of the development agreement should be coming to me to give to Mr. Slagle any day now. We are working with him. He is also seeking a community revitalization grant through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. As part of that, it does require some sort of a local contribution. We are looking at possibly utilizing the Brownfield Authority to assist him with some mitigation efforts on the property, along with installing some sidewalk. And then last but not least, Loop Ender next Monday, 5 o'clock, the fire station, dinner only served. That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for Mike? Nothing new in appointments. Council comment. Leah.
I just wanted to extend my sympathies to the Oxford community. It's not far from where I grew up. I played sports there my whole life. It hits home, and it's just devastating. So I just wanted to speak on that.
Right.
Yeah, I too would like to, I hope customers over there and their children go to that school, and unfortunately they didn't order this week. I understand the reasons why, so pretty tough. I'd like to thank Chief for going up and down for Liz and taking the time out of your busy day and doing that. I think we need to continue to do such things. And, Dan, I know sometimes you may look like we're beating you up, but believe me, we really do appreciate you. I think you do a fantastic job. I just think there's always room for improvement. So that's it.
Okay. Jim.
I don't have a whole lot more to add to. Last summer, we did a job for the city of Wyoming High School with cameras, and we put gunshot detection cameras in there. And I pray that hopefully they never have to utilize them to a point on that, but the technology is out there. You're seeing more and more of that coming across neighborhoods and cities, and it's sad that we've gotten that way, but hopefully we can get it out. And there's a lot more festivities still happening in the city of Lowell. Santa visits coming on up, so a lot of good things are still happening through the holidays for the city of Lowell. So come out and support. That's it.
Cliff.
I'm really pleased that we have public bathrooms. I think it's something that Lowell has needed for a while. It's great to see that happening. And I would like to thank our school system and the school board members specifically They've been taking a lot of heat. I found out this week they get $300 a year for what they do, and it pretty much convinced me that they do what they do because they believe in education and their hearts for the kids. And I think it's sad that they have to take the amount of crap that they're taking right now. Thanks.
I agree with that. The people that are against you will always be louder, and I support them fully. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and you start driving out the good people, or trying to drive out the good people, you won't get new good people. It's hard enough to fill. Look at these appointments
Exactly.
we do every month, and nothing changes, and it's sad to see people wasting their time and energy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but most Board of Ed, they run unopposed.
Yeah,
People aren't fighting to donate their time to 22 meetings a year plus. So
Yeah.
I certainly hope these people are gonna step up and do something instead of just shooting their mouths off.
we're lucky to have the schools that we do, and the
Yes.
school administration that we do, and the school board that we do, and the teachers that we do. And I'm guilty of not telling them enough, just as much as the rest of us are, so. Liz, April, and Erica at the chamber, the parade was fantastic, it was packed. That was the first thing Jim and I said when we came around the corner, is
Well,
there wasn't a spot, and they were building to the road on the sidewalks, and this community turns out though, right? Jim and I walked at the front of a parade once with sideways ice rain, and there were still hundreds of people on the street, and we walked the Memorial Day parade when it was 98 degrees, and Mike got his half-sleeve shirts for some reason.
That wasn't my idea.
It was
That was not my idea.
People in this community come out for stuff, that's what they do, and Sunday or Saturday night was a great example. Thanks to Dan and Chris and Charlie and Shannon for making sure that we are fully protected on all sides. And Marty and I today went out and spent the morning with Jim and Jeremy on WION, bragging up Lowell. Justin?
Yeah.
That too, he was there too. They got a dog now, and we were out there for a few hours this morning bragging up Lowell, and it's nice to have those guys to come to. And they do a fantastic job being out in Ionia, caring as much about Lowell as they do about Ionia. So it's nice to go out there and hang out with those guys. I think I'm out of stuff.
For that,
We'll
I'll
talk
make a
about
motion to adjourn at 8:07.
I'll support. Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.